The staff of a school system decided to ignore the suffering of students, the suffering of these students who were attacked in various ways, including racially. Let's put up a picture of the school. 2 elementary students at a Texas school were humiliated, physically and psychologically tortured because of their race, while school staff turned a blind eye. This is North Point Elementary School in Clear Lake City, Texas. There's a woman named Tatiawana Jackson, said that her son was choked, her son was punched and tripped by other students, and his teacher would punish him by not allowing him to go to the restroom, leaving him to urinate in his pants. Chanda Johnson's daughter was slapped so hard by another student that she lost hearing in one ear. And another student bit into her hand to the point where she required stitches. Staff at the school did not report most of these attacks. The children endured at the school, contrary to the policy of the district. Let me give you more background on these incidents. The students identified as John and Jane Doe were the only 2 black students at the time. Let me say that again. The students identified as being victims of this kind of torture and racial bias were the only 2 black students at the time. According to the lawsuit, John Doe's teacher did not do anything after another student choked him and did not tell his parents about the attack or when he was punched in the eye by another kid. Attorneys for the family said the decision to hide the incident goes well beyond negligence until it is better characterized as institutional abuse. The lawsuit says that John Doe also faced abuse from his teacher, who repeatedly told him to hold it when he asked for a bathroom break while white students were allowed to go to the restroom as needed. John Doe, the child, would then be forced to attend classes and aftercare while wearing wet underwear. The attacks and discrimination were so severe that Jane Doe, the other child, begged to leave the class and asked to go to the school nurse a number of times. The lawsuit alleges that she was not only physically harmed, but also called names by other students. In addition to the wound to the hand and the damage to her ear, another student stepped on Jane Doe's fingers and elbowed her arms while her teacher allegedly stood by and said absolutely nothing. The teacher instead started complaining about the child's behavior in progress reports, according to the complaint. She was also made to eat alone without explanation. Attorneys for the family said, and I quote, "The discrimination has left the children at times depressed, sad, traumatized, distraught, with feelings of isolation and loss of self-worth." Put up the principal of this school. Her name is Diana Katner. That's the principal of North Point Elementary. Okay, North Point Elementary. A school spokesperson said they are currently investigating the matter. This is so horrific and so sad. Now, lawmakers, they likely will not create legislation to remedy this. They likely will not create additional laws to criminally punish school teachers who see something but say nothing. They won't do that, even though they should. These teachers have failed these students. Not only have they failed the black students who have been subjected to torture, they have failed the white students or non-black students in that institution who think it's okay. They failed them, all of them. To the parents of these students, please take your kids out of this school now. If you haven't done so, please do so. The damage that this environment is doing is not worth them remaining there to fight a cause. I get it, I understand it. Continue to sue them, continue to hold them accountable, but please take your babies out of that school. Adrienne, thoughts here?
I can't think of anything really more degrading or up there with other degrading acts than refusing to allow someone to use the bathroom, to force them to essentially to go on themselves. I can't imagine the level of embarrassment, the feelings of ridicule, and your sense of self-worth while you watched other people who don't look like you have the opportunity to be complete and total human beings, to recognize the humanity in them by allowing them to use the restroom. This individual, in terms of the teachers, the principal, the leaders at this school are, and they're a problem, because it's not just the students themselves who are attacking these kids. It's the racism that is just so incredibly ingrained into this community that they would allow children to be treated this way simply because of the color of their skin, because you can't tell me it's anything different. But it really does speak volumes to the lack of safety these children have in their community and what that community truly does think about people like myself who happen to have a higher melanin count.
Yeah, and children internalize. They will typically blame themselves when there's this kind of abuse, and those around them will make them feel as if, no, it's your fault that we're doing this to you. The teachers made them feel as if it was their fault. We're gonna stay on this story. We wanna see justice done. The lawsuit has been filed. And the investigation is underway. The teacher should be held criminally responsible for what they saw and allowed to happen.